Hello friends, and this is class of case studies. In this part of this video I am going to discuss a case study of valuation of bonds and shares. So basically a case study is nothing but a detailed questioning. There are more than one problems in this and we need to solve this case study. So for MBA students this can be helpful. This will help you at the time of solving this case in examination. So first of all, let's understand the case study. Let us discuss the case study, and then one by one I'll give solution of all these 4 questions. So the case is, assume you are a financial advisor and your job is to help your client in creating investment portfolio. So let's say you have completed your masters in finance and now you are becoming financial advisor, and definitely our job is to help our client. We need to create a client base and we need to help them for choosing the securities, and we need to build a very good portfolio. So there is Mr. YMC, who is your client and is requiring help in identifying and in choosing the securities, which security is desirable, which to choose, which one is to be added in portfolio. But he has some following questions, so he has come to your office and he is asking for this queries. Number one, he has decided to invest in bond which has 5 years maturity, which has par value of 1000 rupees, and the company is going to pay 12% of coupon rate. Now the required rate of return, which is investors required rate, or you can say YMC's required rate, is 10%. So whether to purchase this bond or not, or at what price YMC should purchase, that is what we need to give advice. In question number 2, we need to calculate if YMC is choosing or if holding another bond, which is this second bond, which is of 8 years of maturity. So if Mr. YMC is holding this bond till 8 years, what can be the yield to maturity? Yield to maturity concept is if someone is investing in securities and if that investor is holding that security till the last date, what is actual return, percentage of return that investor is earning. So the second is we need to calculate approximation YTM. That means we will be using approximate formula of YTM, where the number of years are 8 years, the bond maturity is 8 years, par value is 1000, company is paying 12%, and the market price is 1050. Now in question number 3, Mr. YMC is also interested in investing in shares. These two are bond. Question 1 and question 2 is regarding bond. In question number 3, Mr. YMC is interested in investing in pharma company which has paid last year 5 rupees dividend, and the dividend is growing at 14% forever. So this is considered to be the constant growth rate model, and we need to find out, as per constant growth rate model, what is the value of share, and if the share is selling at 250, are we going to recommend to purchase or not. And the last question which Mr. YMC is having brought to us is he's also interested in investing in IT shares. The third was pharma, the fourth is IT shares, and the company has already paid a dividend of rupees 10 last year, and which is growing for 20% for first 4 years, and thereafter it will be 12% forever. So this is considered to be the dividend discount model, where there are more than one growth rate. One is 20% growth rate and one is 12% growth rate, and if investors expected rate is 18%, what is the purchase price. So this is what a small caselate case study, and let us solve it one by one. I have prepared this solution. Let us understand. I'll explain one by one. So this is question number 1. Again I am writing question here. Bond is of 5 years. It has par value of 1000. That means you can purchase this bond in 1000, and the company is going to pay interest of 12%. So that means if our investment is 1000, we will be receiving interest 12%, which is 120, which you can see over here, which I'm highlighting. So I'm writing the information which is given. Interest 120, par value is 1000, the number of years to maturity is 5 years, that means the duration of bond, and expected rate is 10%. Now without calculation also we can make estimation, because company is paying 12%, the coupon rate is 12, right, and investors are expecting only 10%. That means company is paying more as compared to what investors are expecting. So that means the value of bond should be more than 1000, or the value of bond should be more than par value. So let us check. This is the original formula. Value of bond equals to interest, present value of interest, the first part, and the plus we need to make present value of maturity value. So as interest we are receiving every year, to convert the present value, we will use the annuity factor. So I'm putting figures into formula. In place of interest I'm writing 120, and expected rate is 10%, which is 1.10, and T is times. So 5 years, till 5 times I'll be receiving interest. Plus sign, and the maturity value is 1000, because at the end of maturity I'll be getting 1000. Expected rate 10 and 5. Now over here, the first part, we are receiving interest every year, so to convert this we will use annuity factor 10% and 5 years, and this 1000 we are receiving only once, that is called lump sum, and that is why we are using present value factor 10% and 5 years. So 10% 5 year annuity factor by looking into table, or we can also use with the help of calculator, which is 3.791, which will be multiplied. So this solution of bracket is 3.791, which will be multiplied with 120, plus the last year factor, which is lump sum factor 10% and 5 year, is 0.621, which will be multiplied with 1000. So this is 454.92, and this present value is 621. By summation of this, the value of bond is 1075, and that is what we have just discussed few minutes back, that company is paying 12, investors are requiring only 10, the value should be more than par value, and yes, our answer is more than par value. So we can give advice to Mr. YMC. The real value, intrinsic value of this bond, he can purchase today at 1075. This is solution of first question. Now let's move to the second question of Mr. YMC. We are going to find out if Mr. YMC is going to purchase this bond, and if he is holding till last date of maturity, what can be the yield, what can be the final earnings, that is called yield to maturity. So the formula of approximation YTM is interest plus difference between maturity value and market value, which will be divided by number of years, and the whole things will be divided with average of maturity value and market value. So I am replacing figures into formula. Interest, which is 12% of 1000, which is 120, plus signature, which is given in formula. Now I am making the difference of maturity value on maturity. Investors will get 1000 only, but its market value is 1050, so I am making difference 1000 minus 1050, divided by number of years of bond is 8. So I am putting 8 here. The whole thing will be divided with the average of maturity value and market value. So that average I am putting here. So this is 120 plus. Now 50, this is minus 50, divided by number of years will be minus 6.25, and the whole things will be divided with average of these two, that is maturity and market, which is 1525. So out of 120, if we deduct 6.25, it will be 113.75, and which will be divided with 1525. So the approximate YTM, if Mr. YMC is purchasing bond and holding till maturity, the approximate YTM will be 7.45%. This is approximation of YTM. So we have solved two questions of Mr. YMC. Now we go to the third question of Mr. YMC. Mr. YMC is interested for making investment in pharma company, and the company has paid dividend of rupees 5. So this last year's dividend is considered as dividend of last year, which is D0, and the expected growth rate is 14%. So the growth rate of company will grow every year by 14%. So we write growth rate is 14%, and the investors expected rate is 16. Now our job is to find out the value of share by using constant growth rate model, because there is only one growth rate given. So the formula of constant growth rate model is last year's dividend, and we multiply with growth rate divided by expected rate minus growth rate, that is KE minus G. So last year's dividend 5, the growth rate is 14, so we multiply with 1.14 divided by expected rate, which is 16%, and growth rate is 14. So multiplication of 5 and 1.14 is 5.7, divided by difference between these two is 0.02. So we can say the value of share as per constant growth rate model is 285. Now in this part there is another question which is added. Suppose the market price or the current selling price is 250. If current selling price is rupees 250, whether we recommend to purchase this share or not. So definitely we should recommend, because the intrinsic value is 285, but in market it is available at 250. So this stock is considered as undervalued stock. So decision should be Mr. YMC should buy the stock. We should give advice that Mr. YMC should definitely purchase the stock. It will give benefit to Mr. YMC's portfolio. And now we come to the last question of Mr. YMC. That was the pharma stock. Yes, we should give advice to purchase. Now there is IT stock, which Mr. YMC also wants to add into portfolio. So this is information about IT stock. Again we will solve with the help of dividend model, but in this question there are two growth rate given, that is why it is considered as dividend discount model. It is also known as a DDM model in shortcut, which is DDM, dividend discount model. So this IT company has paid 10 rupees dividend last year, which is considered to be the D0. We can consider as D0 is rupees 10. Company is expected to grow at 20%. So now the formula for dividend discount model is the value of share will be present value of dividend. We need to first find out what are the present values because this is last year's dividend. For next 4 year, the company will grow at 20%. So we need to find out what are the future dividend, and then we find out the present value of all this future dividend. So whatever present value we have, we will write it here, and we also need to find out present value of share. So first we need to find out what is value of share after 4 year, and again we convert into present value. That value we will write it here. So let us solve. As we have only last year's dividend, first we need to find out what are the dividend of next 4 year, because company is growing by 20% at for next 4 years. So the first year's dividend, which is D1, is last year multiplied by growth rate, which is 20%, and it will be 12. Second year, whatever last year company has paid, which is 12, we need to add growth rate, which is 20%. So 12 multiplied by 20% of this, it will be 14.4. Third year, whatever company has paid in second year, which is 14.4, 20% growth rate will be applicable. It is 17.28. And in fourth year, whatever third year investor has received, 20% growth rate will be added. It will be 20.74. But all these dividend are future dividend. As per formula, we need present value of dividend. So we will identify the present value by taking investors expected rate as present value factor. Whenever we are going to find out the present value, we can always take investors expected rate as the present value factor. So at 18%, first year factor is 0.847, second year factor is 0.718, third year factor is 0.609, and the last is 0.516. We multiply dividend with respective present value factor, and by totaling this up, this is our present value of dividend, and that is our first part of the formula, which is 41.72. So as you can make total of this, or if you write sum, you will get 41.72, which is present value of dividend. Now the second part, which is present value of share. The first, we can always find out value of share of fourth year, because we have already been to 4 year of company. We have already come away 4 year from the present value. So first we will find out what is the value of share of fourth year. So fourth year value of share equals to whatever dividend company has paid in fourth year, we need to add growth rate. So this is 20.74 into growth rate divided by expected rate minus growth rate, that is KE minus G. So 20.74, which is D4. So we replace the value 20.74. Now the growth rate will be only 12%, because after 4 year it is already been given in question that after that there will be only 12% growth rate. So we'll multiply with 12% divided by expected rate, which is 18, and growth rate is 12. By simplifying this, 20.74 into 1.12 is 23.22, and 0.18 minus 0.12 is 0.06. By dividing this, we get 387.14, but this is called value of share of fourth year. We want value of share. What is value of share after, that is present value. So to find out present value, that is V0, we have already away by 4 years. So to find out the present value, we need to multiply with 4 year present value factor. So this is 387 multiplied by fourth year factor, which is 0.516. It will give you what is the value at 0 year, and that comes to 199. Now we have present value of share also by adding present value of dividend 41.72 and 199.77, which is present value of share, the intrinsic value of information technology stock is 241.49. Now say for example, if currently this share is available, if the current market price is rupees 250, so you suggest whether we should suggest our client to purchase this stock or not. If you have gone through with this video perfectly, then you will be able to give me answer. And if you want to give answer, you can comment on this box. What should be your advice? Whether you will give advice to your client to purchase the share or not. So this is called a real value of share, 241. This is called market value of share right now, which is available in market, which is 250. So should we recommend? Being MBA student, you can just give me your answer in chat box. What advice you will give to your client? So thank you very much for the listening, and for further videos you can visit my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for the listening. Have a good day.